Unlike Realme's design for its smartphones where it experiments a lot, when it comes to its designs for its truly wireless earbuds, the company's been fairly conservative until now. Here's the Realme Buds Air 3S, a pair of truly wireless earbuds that brings a completely new industrial design to Realme's portfolio. Now, whether this is a good thing or bad is what I'm going to evaluate in this video. If you don't know me yet, I'm Arshad. You're watching Trakin Tech English. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Realme Buds Air 3S and comparing it against the OPPO Enco Buds 2 because I haven't reviewed this one yet either. Now, the design of the Realme Buds Air 3S's case moves away from that, very famous Tatte Idli design that I've always called it to now something that looks a little bit like a compact box. So this black box is entirely made of plastic with a transparent lid on top. It's not entirely transparent primarily because the color is black. However, this top lid is extremely susceptible to scratches and it is kind of flimsy too. While that bassy thud slam of the lids against the case does sound good, I'm kind of concerned about the longevity of the quality of the materials used itself. In comparison, I do like the OPPO Enco Buds 2's case design, which is completely circular right now and it's matte black and it feels sturdier too. Now, this is not entirely matte plastic. It's got a little bit of a glossy band running around it. It does look good. It's kind of a nice design breakaway. The case is also lighter, slimmer, and easier to slip inside the small pocket of your jeans compared to, the Realme Buds Air 3S's case. However, I do like the fact that the Buds Air 3S actually comes with a dedicated button to put it in pairing mode, unlike the Enco Buds 2 where you have to actually press both the buds to put it in pairing mode. I'll talk more about the connectivity and other features in the later part of the review. Now, if you've come this far and if you like the kind of content that we make and if it's helpful and useful to you, it'd be great if you guys can support us and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video, because these videos take a lot of effort to make. And the YouTube algorithm values engagement. So if you genuinely like the video, it'd be great if you could give it a thumbs up and maybe even comment below if you have any specific comment around this video itself. Now, with both these cases, I like the fact that, they've been designed in a way where you can actually flip it open with, one thumb. However, when you look at the inside of the Enco Buds 2's case, I like the kind of color block that's happening out here. It adds a bit of whimsicalness to the whole design, especially with this nice little pastel blue color. Now, the cavity that holds these buds is actually spaced out very nicely and it's easy to remove and put them back in. In comparison, when you open the lid of the Realme Buds Air 3S, there's this, somber gray color with a massive Dare to Leap logo, which I don't know for what reason Realme has added that. It kind of looks tacky if you ask me. And you can see that the stem of these buds is actually jutting out of the cavity that holds it. So I was really concerned that, when you hold it upside down or when you do this, it'll fall out easily, but the magnets are pretty strong. Now, why do I mention that the magnets are strong? Now, this is the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, and I've noticed that every single time I use these, and if by mistake I do this, that happens. Now, talking about the design and the stem of the Realme Buds Air 3S's buds themselves, they're extremely tiny and you can't even see them when I'm holding up like this. And there is a silicone tip for sure, but Realme has also added wing tips. Although I have no idea what Realme was going for when adding these wingtips, these miniature wingtips to be more specific, because they don't fit any adult human's ears and they'll probably fit like a tiny little 2-year-old baby's tiny little ears. Now, I bring this up primarily because while you do get different sized silicone tips in the box, you do not get different sized wingtips in the box, and obviously this is not going to hold or add to the secure fit. Talking about the secure fit though, you don't really need these wingtips. I would say that just remove them because even otherwise it fits really well. In fact, I found that the fit of the Realme Buds Air 3S was slightly more secure compared to the OPPO Enco Buds 2's buds themselves. Having said that, both of these buds are fantastic for long listening sessions and comfort factor is very good on both, just that the Buds Air 3S has a more secure fit. Another slight little advantage on the Buds Air 3S is that the buds have IPX5 rating on them compared to IPX4 on the OPPO Enco Buds 2, which is not that big of a deal, but yeah, it's slightly better. Now, talking about instant pairing, you get Google's fast pair support on the Realme Buds Air 3S, which means that most Android devices in the ecosystem will be able to instantly pair with it the moment you open the lid. In comparison, the OPPO Enco Buds 2 offers quick pairing only with OPPO devices. Furthermore, the Realme Buds Air 3S has support for Bluetooth 5.3 standard compared to BT 5.2 on the OPPO Enco Buds 2. And this is definitely a huge difference, primarily because you get better latency performance, you also get better stability, and more importantly, it has low power requirements too. Now, this also enables Realme to offer dual pairing, which it first introduced with the Realme Buds Air 3 that it launched earlier this year, which means that you can connect to a phone and a laptop at the same time. And whenever you get a call on the phone, if you're watching something on the laptop, it'll switch to it automatically. There's also support for Realme's Link app, through which you can assign the earbud controls or switch on the game mode. Furthermore, there are a few predefined equalizer settings for sure, and you can now create your custom EQ too, which is definitely a welcome addition. More about EQ settings in the sound section because I definitely want to talk about it a lot. As for the Enco Buds 2, with the Hey Melody app, you have 3 predefined EQs, game mode toggle, and earbud controls. That's it. Overall, the Buds Air 3S has slightly better features, connectivity options, and of course, app as well. But when you compare it to something like the Realme Buds Air 3, there are a lot of features that are missing. Now, Realme has used 11mm liquid silicon titanium drivers inside each housing, and these are definitely better quality, dynamic drivers, and the kind of impact that it has is definitely better. So much so that the Realme Buds Air 3S is the best sounding truly wireless product from Realme in 2022. Yes, even better than the Realme Buds Air 3. But by default, in Realme's typical fashion, it's dark, it's boomy, and there's too much prominence given to the bass. But you know what? You can fix that with the custom EQ option that's available. I use this specific EQ setting to make it sound more rich and detailed and even slightly wider as well, which means that the Realme Buds Air 3S's drivers actually respond to EQ settings well. Now, to define that default sound signature, the mids are completely recessed, so much so that SPB sounds like he's singing from somewhere in the background in Kappalleri Poyache, and the entire boisterous bass section is completely engulfing his voice. Obviously, it's a proper U-shaped sound signature, and it's funny that Realme in its EQ settings offers 2 extra bass modes. I don't know why you needed that. And on top of it, the treble focused one, which used to exist with the other earphones that I've tested in the past, that doesn't exist anymore. However, like I mentioned, once EQ'd properly, you can definitely expect a wider soundstage and good instrument separation too. Now, that is provided you can do the EQing. Now, by default, most people listen to in the default sound signature, and that doesn't sound very good because Realme's default tuning is not very good. In more layman terms, the clarity gets better when you tweak the EQ, and it is probably the best on a pair of Realme budget truly wireless earbuds yet. The treble quality is also surprisingly very good because of the quality of drivers that Realme has used, and you also get support for Dolby Atmos out of the box, which is not available on the OPPO Enco Buds 2. The Dolby Atmos performance, while I tested it out, is pretty decent enough for when you're watching videos, but these are budget earphones, so keep your expectations in check. If you want great Dolby Atmos performance or spatial audio performance, okay, this thing keeps moving. No. Stop. I think it's moving throughout the video. Now, the Dolby Atmos performance when you're watching, Dolby Atmos content, it's pretty decent for a pair of budget earphones, but keep your expectations in check. When you want good spatial audio, you have to spend more for high-end equipment. Overall, these are pretty refined drivers that you get on the Realme Buds Air 3S. But you know what? Considering that the hardware is so good, Realme could have gone for a more audiophile grade tuning. Instead, it's again gone for the bass heavy one, which is definitely a bit of a letdown. Now, coming to the Enco Buds sound quality, this one has 10mm drivers. Doesn't matter the driver size, it just has to sound good. But again, this is also very boomy, very bass heavy. But you know what's off with the Enco Buds 2? And that is the fact that the drivers are not as refined as the ones inside the Realme Buds Air 3S, and it doesn't respond to EQing either. I tried it with the Wavelet app because in Hey Melody you only get 3 predefined options, and it doesn't sound very good, or it doesn't actually respond to EQing at all. Easily between these two products, the wobbling little Enco Buds 2 and the Realme Buds Air 3S, the Realme Buds Air 3S is the better sounding. Now, somehow Realme has managed to reduce the latency on the Realme Buds Air 3S to 69 milliseconds. Nice. And the OPPO Enco Buds 2 offers a latency of 88 milliseconds, which is of course both of these happen in game mode only. And to be entirely honest, you can't really tell the difference in daily performance. And if you are a gamer, I would suggest that you use wired solution for gaming because of course no latency is better than any latency at all. Now, Realme says that there are 4 mics inside each bud on the Realme Buds Air 3S, and it does some sort of artificial intelligence, ENC or environmental noise cancellation. Don't confuse it with ANC. But my bigger concern was the fact that the stem is too small, so it might affect sound quality in calls. Take a listen for yourself. I've done a comparison of the sound side by side.
Mic check, 1 to 3, 1 to 3, mic check. This is a voice test on the Realme Buds Air 3S. Mic check, 1 to 3, 1 to 3, mic check, mic check. This is a sound test on the OPPO Enco Buds 2.
And my worry came true, as you can tell, because the Realme Buds Air 3S doesn't sound as loud as the Enco Buds 2 does. Yes, it does a better job of cutting out the environmental sounds, but you can hear me better on the Enco Buds 2. Now, when it comes to battery life, both these sister brands say that you can get 7 hours of continuous listening with the earbuds. And you know what? In my testing, it's kind of true. I got very similar numbers, so kudos to them for advertising the numbers right. However, since the Realme Buds Air 3S has a bigger case, it also has a larger battery, and therefore it adds a couple of extra hours of charge on the case itself. You get 30 hours of charge on the case of the Realme Buds Air 3S, whereas you get 28 hours on the OPPO Enco Buds 2. Now, both these buds also offer quick charge support with the Realme Buds Air 3S. You can get 5 hours of playback time with just a 10 minute of charge, as opposed to 2 hours on the OPPO Enco Buds 2. So yeah, so the numbers definitely much higher on the Buds Air 3S. So, by introducing the Realme Buds Air 3S in the market, Realme has addressed one concern of mine that I had raised in the review of the Realme Buds Air 3. I had clearly said that it had cheaped out on the drivers that were used inside the Realme Buds Air 3. But my bigger concern actually is the fact that the driver quality is not up to the mark, and it's not definitely as good as the ones inside the Buds Z2. It's definitely better on the Realme Buds Air 3S to an extent that it definitely sounds better than the Realme Buds Air 3 as well. However, it doesn't have as many features as its more expensive option. Considering audio products are called audio products for a reason, they should sound good. Everything else is secondary according to me. But with the Buds Air 3S, I could tune the sound to my liking, so that's definitely a good thing. However, that's just me. Not everybody will be able to, custom EQ the sound. So you should do it if you want better performance from the Realme Buds Air 3S. If you're considering a pair of truly wireless earbuds around the 2,500 rupee mark, I would suggest that you pay a few hundreds more for the Realme Buds Air 3S over the OPPO Enco Buds 2, primarily because it sounds better and also offers a few more features too. So what do you guys think of these two products? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Ershad signing off. Keep tracking and stay safe.